wanted this job bad. The place has been kicked, it's been battered, it's been bruised, and I can sit up here and give you coach speak all day long. Knock us down, we're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off, all right? And we're going to stand up, and then it's going to...
We the Detroit Lions. We the Detroit Lions. Stop playing with us.
Y'all give me a chance to showcase what I can do when they try to bury me, dog. But they can't bury what comes from the dirt.
They grab first down. That's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. Jared Goff delivers it to Detroit. Stand up. You waited for this. The Lions won again, bitch. You know, the Lions won again.
What up, Go Lions? Welcome back to all the Motor City Ball Knower faithful. This is episode 8. Hesser, Scotty, welcome. How we doing?
We are great. I think we gotta pass it over to the man of the hour, Scotty, Mr. Wedding Boy, getting married in a couple days. Let's go.
Yeah, Mr. Groom, as you can say. So yeah, we are 4 days out from the big one. I'll move over from fiance to husband, a little positional change, show my versatility. But no, we're super stoked. Hannah and I are we're really blessed to have a great crew of family, friends surrounding us this Saturday, and then we're very excited to go to Hawaii after as well. So quick shout out to Hannah. She is just a total gem. Anyone who's met her and spent time with her is lucky, better for it. So yeah, we'll kick off the show with a shout out to my amazing fiance and soon to be wife, very soon to be wife.
Shout out Hannah. I can attest I'm a better man for knowing Hannah. That's a fact. And yeah, Scotty, we're pumped for you. It's going to be an awesome wedding, awesome time, awesome week. And what better way to kick off the wedding festivities than to talk a little ball here. I think first though, Scotty, I'm going to kick back to you and Tim chime in as well. Can we get a little Tigers update?
Tonight, no, it's bad. 9-0. Last night was fun. I mean, it's kept me up until almost past midnight, 12:30 a.m., going to extra innings. Don't know how Kenley Jansen snuck out of that one over in Wrigley. It's awesome to see those games in Wrigley. Like, the Tigers fans really show out. That's a cool thing. That's a highlight for sure. But, I mean, the Tigers, just big picture right now, it's very – every day it's like a new thing. It's like if we drop 3 or 4 straight, then we're going to say we got to sell and kind of start building for next year. But if we go on a little run here, take, 5 out of the next 6, win 7 out of the next 9, then you're starting to talk about, okay, how do we build towards the playoffs and potentially winning a World Series? Because you have like the best pitcher on planet Earth. You have a bunch of good starting pitching. It's been a weird season, man. I mean, May was just they dug themselves such a deep hole in May. They've been, I think, one of the best teams in the MLB, if not the best team in Major League Baseball since June 1. Positive run differential. They've just gotten kind of some bad luck, tough injuries. Just May was insane. Like, if they just go 500 in May, tread water, you're looking at it's a first place ball club right now with just totally different conversations happening.
All right. So we're kind of on watch here these next 10 games or so to see what's feasible.
August 3rd is the trade deadline. I think you just ride it out as deep into that. Like, there's no need to make a declaration before that. You just get all the information in front of you, see how you play over the next 11, 12 days, and you make a decision that's best for the present and the future of the ball club. It's still too early. It's still too cloudy to determine that right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. August 3rd, big day, trade deadline, and speaking of weddings, my anniversary. So shout out to my awesome wife Molly. I think you guys are better. You guys are better men for knowing her too.
7 years, Jay. 7 years, Jay. If my math is correct.
7 years. Yeah.
Shout out APAP, birthday, August 3rd, Jack APAP birthday.
That's true. Shout out Jack APAP. Shout out Jack APAP for sharing his birthday with us.
Well, Scotty, hope you and Hannah rep the Honolulu Blue out in Hawaii and have a great time. I know you will.
Thank you, sir.
100. So I think the plan for tonight, guys, is we want to be efficient, we want to be sharp, we want to be clean, we want to have some good situational awareness, and I think we want to keep it pretty tight tonight. So the plan is to dive into the NFC North, give a pretty high level breakdown of our three heated division rivals, talk a little bit about the past season for each three, what happened this offseason, and maybe a little bit of a look ahead into the coming season. And then we'll rip some mailbag, and then we'll get everyone on their way. So I think without further ado, Tim, who should we start with? I'm gonna throw it to you. Who do we which team do we want to start with?
I think we have to start with last year's champion, NFC North champions and surprise team, the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears, who
The
I will
Bears.
go out and admit it, my Xbox gamer tag in 2006 was the Bears guy 23 TC, because the Lions were absolute ass doo-doo, and the Bears, I'm honest about it, I clean my closet, take inventory, the Bears were sick. Devin Hester, Lance Briggs, Charles Tillman, Brian Urlacher, what a dope squad. And now I have not liked them since, and they really pissed me off now. So, boys, give me the skinny on the Bears.
Tim,
Well,
was you forgot Rex Grossman.
Sexy Rexy?
Sexy Rexy leading them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Tim, we won a lot of Halo matches under that gamer tag.
It was a good game. I played a lot of Halo with Scotty, actually.
Yes, sir.
And we ripped a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Bears guy, 23 TC. We were getting those Halo lobbies and wreak havoc. And
talking smack.
Talking smack. And I mean, speaking, and this is a little foreshadowing. I mean, my gamer tag was an ode to a division rival as well in a different sport. But we'll get over to Minnesota. It was Mr. Mauer 7.
Oh, yes. Wow.
I was gonna say Morneau but no. Yeah.
Hey, Morneau won an MVP as well. But no, I was obsessed with Joe Mauer. So I mean, that kind of shows you the level of fanhood that I had for Minnesota teams, and we'll discuss that a little bit more when we get over to the Vikings segment. But we're starting with the Bears, right?
Yeah, but that's to say, for all the kids listening, you're gonna get confused. You're gonna search for other teams. You're always gonna come back home to the Motor City ball teams. So if you're listening out there,
that's facts.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. The generation like just beneath us, probably, let's say, a decade or younger than us, they didn't really struggle the way we did with the Lions. They didn't witness what we did with the Matt Millen, Marty Morningweg, the 0-16 season. Obviously, they weren't they were still in diapers at that stage and weren't conscious to witness that. That led us to other, greener pastures, right? So I think this generation doesn't necessarily get it because they came into a time where 2011 we made the playoffs. You had Calvin Johnson, Stafford was, they just really started watching the Lions when Stafford was drafted, essentially. So, and that changed everything. The team was, for the most part, competitive for the entire 2010s decade.
Yeah, still some heartbreak for sure, but you're totally right, Scott. I think the vibe in the franchise changed once Stafford was drafted, and him and Calvin started to go off, and that first playoff appearance against the Saints, that was a big deal. And so that was 2011. So that was 15 years ago, and
your seniors in high school.
Yeah. So enjoy it. But let's talk Bears. Unfortunately, we have to do this. The Bears had a really nice season last year, 11-6, won the NFC North, and I think a lot of Lions fans probably followed the Bears closer than usual because of who their head coach was. Our former guy, Ben Johnson, who he did a great job. You You can't deny that. Pretty impressive season for the Bears, turning it around. You know, I'm saying a lot of nice things about the Bears. Scott, I'm going to let you bring Bears fans back down to earth as to maybe some of the reasons why they had some of the success. But I think it is important to point out Ben Johnson's a really good coach, fit that team really nicely with the pieces that they had offensively. It made sense that he went to Chicago, made total sense. And it starts with Caleb Williams. You know, he is, look at those guys. Look at those Bears fans.
Well,
Kate,
no, sorry. Go ahead, JD. Continue.
I was just gonna say Caleb Williams is really good. Caleb Williams is a really good quarterback. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of arm talent, a lot of natural things that you want in your quarterback. He's got a lot of things that I think Lions fans that don't like Jared Goff would want their quarterback to have. He can extend plays. He can throw the ball a mile. You know, he's got some razzle dazzle. He paints his fingernails. And it starts with the offense over in Chicago. It did last season. Caleb had a nice year. They've got some fun young receivers that I think are going to be problems for some time. And I think the biggest maybe shocker was how effective their run game was. And I think that's totally an ode to Ben Johnson being able to scheme up some really unpredictable things in the run game, make things look different. And you had a 7th-round rookie running back and a former Lion and DeAndre Swift carry the load and do a great job. And you know, the O-line, the O-line is good. I wouldn't say it's elite, but that's a good scheme right there. And that's a good play caller. So I think big success last year was due to that offense. And then Scott, give us some other reasons why the Bears had the season that they did last year.
Yeah, I was going to cut you off real fast, Tim. You were starting to search for Chicago Bears fans. You should search Gary Bears fans. They're going to be playing in the suburbs of Gary, Indiana.
The Indy Boys.
The Indy Boys. I mean, that's first and foremost. I mean, that's just such a stain on the franchise that if they actually end up
Mickey Mouse
following through the move to Indiana, that's insane.
Nice gimmick. That's gimmicky.
It's super Chicago. Gimmicky. Get it together. Figure it out. Brandon Johnson. Let's be a solutions guy. Let's get it together. But the number I'll start with before we get into anything is the number 22, and that's not in reference to a Taylor Swift song. Again, shout out Hannah, huge Taylor Swift fan. My fiance. The 22 number I want to bring up is the turnover differential that the Chicago Bears ended up with. Plus 22, led the NFL, 5 more than any other team. The second best team was at 17 in Jacksonville. Turnovers are not a sticky stat. It's extremely volatile. It's extremely luck-oriented. There are certainly some. That's why I harp on the Detroit Lions to get a pass rush, because there are correlations between pass rushing and getting to the quarterback, and then turnover percentage and turnover efficiency. But at the same time, going plus 22 means that you had a lot of good variance, a lot of balls that bounced your way, a lot of things that to replicate that would be remarkable. So getting to that, for the Bears to repeat that again would be extremely hard, especially with a first place schedule coming up this year. So I do also want to bring up Caleb Williams, and we can almost throw away his actual rookie year in 24 because he was with a lame duck coaching staff. Matt Eberflus was just an absolute moron, as you could see on Thanksgiving Day with his clock management. So you basically almost give Caleb Williams a write-off, as you could almost make the argument that he's coming into his second year this year. You get a second full offseason with Ben Johnson, second full offseason with a supporting cast. They bring in Burton and Colson Loveland last year, two emerging, I think, stars. But there's a stat with Caleb Williams: completion percentage over expected. He's dead last. He's the most inaccurate quarterback in the NFL. So Williams makes the razzle dazzle and makes these and seemingly impossible plays happen. I mean, look at the way that game against the Rams ended. He just chucks it up on 4th down And there's Cole Kmet in the corner of the end zone just making an easy catch. Like that play, I don't think any other guy on planet Earth outside of maybe Mahomes can do that. So that's the stuff with Caleb. But it's on a down-to-down basis. You watch him, he's not necessarily like making the accurate, like hey, there's the slant right across the middle. He'll miss those throws. So Caleb Williams needs to clean up his game a lot in order to be and I think he's capable of doing it. That is, I'm not writing him off. I'm not saying Caleb Williams is bad, but and that's what's scary is that he hasn't necessarily reached anywhere close to his potential yet. He needs to clean up a lot of things in his game. It remains to be seen if he can do that. Maybe he is just inaccurate and he's going to be someone who's very, kind of boom bust, very, high, it's going to be either a home run or he's going to just totally whiff. So
but is Caleb enough on offense for them? Because he really doesn't have that many weapons. I mean,
I disagree. I think Burden and Loveland that they hit those draft picks last year. They're really good. I think
Odunze is good too.
Rome is good. He also has a foot injury that I don't know if you saw a quote from this offseason. He said, "This is my new normal." He has a foot injury that's going to be chronic. So that's something that he's going to manage for probably at least this season, if not the rest of his career. Yeah. Rome is good. Obviously, high draft capital there. I think the addition by subtraction through DJ Moore, he was dogging routes in the playoffs. So I think they were savvy to get rid of him, ship him off to Buffalo. They're definitely top heavy though. If they suffer an injury to either Burden or if Odunze, I don't even know who do we have on the depth chart there.
Here, I'll pull it up back up.
I think it's Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus, I think. Yeah. Zacchaeus.
So he's nothing special. He's just a guy.
Well, is it something that Caleb plus Ben Johnson equals an offense that you have to take seriously? Is that a fair statement about the Bears?
JD nailed it. It's the run game. They're super. They're a run first team, and that's Ben Johnson, and they're good at it. They're effective with it. So I do want to bring up as well. They had a Frank Ragnow situation. Their center abruptly retired. He was their big free agent. They took Drew Dahlman
and Trapillo, who was playing tackle for them, had a horrible injury. Probably was out for the year.
Yeah. Big
maybe right? That's one of those you maybe don't ever come back from, which sucks because he was playing really well as a rookie. So I think there's some O-line flux, but I think that O-line gets a Ben Johnson bump because of what he's able to do. So yeah, Tim, I think to answer your question, this offense, they're good, and that last year they had kind of that clutch gene, never say die, those things you can't account for that to carry over year over year. And it's so crazy how the finite margins in the NFL, they had, beat the Commanders 25-24, beat the Bears the Raiders 25-24 in back-to-back weeks. We could easily be talking about the Bears finishing in fourth place and the Lions finishing in first place had they taken care of business against the Vikings once and the Steelers at home. But they didn't, and the Bears did. It's an example of how tight the margins are, and also how a last place schedule can really be a factor in these things. The Bears had a weak schedule last year. They had a really impressive win on Black Friday at Philly. They beat the Packers at home.
And speaking of their run game, man, that Philly game, I think they ran the ball 47 times between Monangai and Swift. They just ran it down their throats.
Yeah,
I remember watching that. It was impressive.
It was really impressive. But you look outside of those two games, and then that playoff game, I'd argue against the Packers. I'd argue that's more of a Packers choke / collapse than a good Bears win. But again, they won these games, and I think when you're a program and a culture that hasn't won a lot and you start to win these games, you do start to get some momentum and there's belief, and it's exactly what we saw with the Lions early in the Campbell tenure. Who are we to say that as Lions fans, they got lucky? We can't say that. So I think yeah, it's a team that you really do have to take. Like, they won the division. You're coming for them next year, and I think the turnover thing is massive. I'm gonna go to the other side of the ball. Speaking of turnovers, Tim, this defense does not scare me. Like, this is not the type of defense that strikes fear into you. I think they have some guys. I think like Jalen Johnson is good, Montez Sweat is good, but as a whole, defensively, this is not a unit that I'm like, oh,
They're going to shut you out.
Yeah, like we're screwed. Like, no, not at all. This is not.
It's a middle of the pack unit. They're nothing.
Yeah.
They have some good guys. I think Dennis Allen's a good defensive coordinator. But no, it's not a unit that instills fear. And also, I want to do a quick correction there. Zacchaeus is gone back on Atlanta. How did we forget Khalif Raymond? He's the
wow.
Yeah. It's because we're still in denial, man.
We're still in denial. Shout out Khalif. We miss you. But again, he's at least, I think he's on the wrong side of 30, if not close to it. And if Burden had injury history in college, Burden was missing practices a bunch last year, missed, I think, a few games. If he's banged up, and then you've got this Odunze foot thing, they're thin at receiver. I think Loveland is going to have a massive year. I think if you're playing fantasy, Colson Loveland is a big ticket tight end. But yeah, the Bears, let's see how it is this year, especially bringing up the schedule game. We're doing a full role reversal. They get the first place schedule this year that we just dealt with last year. And now it's vice versa. We get to go fourth place schedule. The benefit of that they just, we saw the rewards that the Bears were able to take advantage of with that schedule last year. So I think that's a huge item that can't really go, it can't really go under discussed. So
what is your guys' I don't know if you want to do this, but what's your gut kind of record where the Bears fall? Like, what is, do you want to do that?
I think they're right around 8-9 or 9-8. I think Ben Johnson's and Caleb Williams, just the way that I don't really see Ben Johnson as someone who's going to like bottom out and have like just an awful year, unless like the quarterback got hurt or something like that. I think that they get some normal regression to the mean in terms of turnovers. I think the defense, again, doesn't really help them win games, especially with a tougher schedule facing, the reigning Super Bowl champions. They have to go and face
New England.
Philly. They play Philly. I think, it's around 500. I think they finish. I'll say 8-9.
I'll go 9-8 just to be different, but I'm with Scott. I think it's the 8 or 9. I think you have to just expect there to be regression, and if there's not, then hey man, tip the cap. They might just be around for a long time as long as Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are there. So
do they make the playoffs?
No.
I'm gonna say yes as a wild card, and that's a dangerous wild card team. I respect the Bears. I have a lot of respect for the Bears because I think Ben Johnson is very good, and at that run game, like if you have a run game, that's big boy football. So,
but as you told that guy up north at the bar, Ben Johnson has not beaten.
He hasn't beaten. Look at that 3-game final stretch. It's going to be a fun final 3 weeks in the NFC.
Oh yeah, Christmas break is going to be. Whoo.
Green Bay, Detroit, at Minnesota. Detroit. I mean, with the Lions, we've talked about it on our schedule release episode. Our final 3 games. Yeah, the NFC North, man. They for whatever reason, the schedule makers this year stacked up that those final 3 weeks.
I want to notice the World Cup New York Knicks finals-esque prices to the Green Bay Chicago game, and comment briefly that just as a lifelong Michigander, I did not realize how big that Packer-Bear rivalry is. Those guys, they hate each other. Like, and I got to watch. That's like the real kind of. But I don't get the same hate as a Lions fan out in Green Bay that they feel for the Bears, and vice versa, which is just interesting to me. And history kind of tells us why we really haven't been relevant. right? Other than the Thanksgiving game that we see these teams a lot, it's just look at that. I mean, and Chicago and Wisconsin are pretty close to like each other, so that's just an interesting notice for our NFC North preview episode.
I did not know that either. That's that is good.
It's kind of thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I just thought you should know that.
Speaking of that rival,
how about we jump over to the Packers, and maybe you can tee us up just with,
roll down the barrel. Do you remember they didn't play that song many times when we were the Lambeau lads because we kicked their ass.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was such a great day when we went up to Lambeau and just took care of business. And
let me tell you something that's really fun. I live in Wisconsin because I go to school there. And when the Packers lose to the Lions, or the Packers lose at all, I love showing up to school and on a Monday and going, "Go Pack, go!" I just hit "Go Pack, go" to all the Packers. Shut up!
Just let them know. Yeah,
good little troll job.
Yep.
I don't know. At least where we were sitting, my experience with the Packers fans when we went to the game a couple of years ago, and the game, it was the infamous Amon-Ra St. Brown headstand game where the Lions won in the pouring rain. It was awesome. Big crew of us were there, but the Packers fans were great to us, before the game, really nice, fun, giving us shots. Like, it was awesome. And then the second it started to turn, they got dark, man. They got mean, some double middle fingers, but they would play it off like they're these like nice Wisconsinites, and then they were just like us, like pissed that their team was getting.
They flipped the switch once the Lions took a lead. Like their whole demeanor changed, and they're like, "Oh, look up at the score. We see."
Look at the banners. Look at the banners.
See those banners. See those years with the Super Bowl wins. Yeah. You don't know what that looks like, and
cool.
They definitely flipped their general demeanor and the way they treated us. They were, again, so hospitable all day up until the scoreboard started to reflect a Detroit Lions inevitable victory. But yeah, let's talk Green Bay, what they did last year. They snuck into the playoffs as the number 7 seed with, what was that, a 9-7-1 record, if I'm not mistaken. I know they had a tie against Dallas.
Yeah.
So yeah, they snuck in there.
They're the lads.
What a photo.
Look at that.
That's all time.
So
it's all
awesome.
time. And the ponchos.
Oh,
what a fun day. What a fun day. So Green Bay's coming off a playoff appearance, heartbreaking loss in Chicago in that rivalry that Tim was describing. I mean, Green Bay is one of those teams right now with this regime. I mean, LaFleur is going into his at least 8th year in Green Bay, maybe 7th or 8th, maybe 7th. I don't know. But he's been very LaFleur is one of those things, and we can talk about this kind of at the end, where the NFC North coaches, those are 4 of the best 8 coaches in the NFL. I'll put down that claim. LaFleur is really good. People don't really talk about him. He's so consistent. The Packers are always doing innovative things on offense. They kind of make a lot out of nothing in terms of, they kind of have a miscast of weapons. A very deep receiver rotation. No one's a true standout there, but Jordan Love is one of those players too, where he's sneaky good, sneaky scary, can do a lot of things. The offensive line is always seemingly giving him time. I feel like we've been complaining about this for 2 decades, where the Packers just have a clean pocket for their quarterback every play.
It's holding. It's holding every play.
They never call holding on the Green Bay Packers. I feel like we've been calling for it.
I got 2 words for Jordan. I got 2 words for Jordan Love. Prove it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Prove
sir.
it, bro.
Prove it, because everybody talks Jordan Love, man, top 5, one of the most underrated quarterback. Why would we trade him? Oh, Matthew Golden. Prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Tim, I love that.
I like it.
And
Yeah.
I think that, the Packers are just like, the way that they're constructed right now, I think they're another like 8-9 win, probably. That's like their floor, and their ceiling might be like 10 wins. Like they're just they're right there, and that could win you this division. I think probably closer to 11 wins you this division. And then they're just I'm not like, they're a team that I just don't. If they make the playoffs, I'm not expecting them to do much. Maybe they win a game. Like they should have won that game in Chicago. They blew that, but I'm with you guys, Tim, especially. Like I think Jordan Love's good, but he's very inconsistent to me, and he just hasn't done it. Like has he won a playoff game? They've won playoff games, right? Has he?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
hold on. Yes, Jordan Love has won one playoff game in his career.
Trivia question: can you find who was? Let's figure out.
Against the Dallas Cowboys, January 14th, 2024, a wild card victory.
Oh, that's right, because that's what got us the second home game.
Yep.
Against the Bucks, because the Cowboys were. Yep. Okay, so I just
sweet wild card win, bro.
I remember I was pumped about that, because then that game was right before
they almost knocked off San Francisco in the divisional.
They should have, but I think the Packers,
I hate to do revisionist history on that.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're past it. The Packers, in terms of like this offseason going into this season, pretty quiet in terms of player acquisition. They don't have a lot of flexibility to do much. They have a ton tied into Micah Parsons, who we haven't even mentioned yet. They have a lot tied into Love, and they just weren't really able to do much this offseason because of that. So it's a very they look kind of the same. I think they actually have the worst offensive line, like on paper, of the 4 teams in the NFC North. And Micah Parsons is obviously incredible, but they kind of have.
We don't know when he returns. He's gonna miss it probably the first month, if not longer.
Yeah, and then you kind of they have some aging guys on defense. That I don't know. I just like Quay Walker seems to be kind of a bonehead. Devontae Wyatt is a good player, but I don't know. It's just another defense.
I'll say Quay. Yeah, Quay Walker's gone. He's in Vegas now, which makes sense because he's just kind of, like you said, a bonehead.
Oh, he is. Okay, my bad.
So no more. It's okay, but like you said, JD, quiet offseason. They spent the first round draft capital to go get Micah Parsons last offseason. So they weren't really able to do much, and then they obviously pay him a lot of money. And then the big news coming out of Green Bay is, what's the status of Josh Jacobs? He was arrested for a domestic violence incident. I don't believe charges have been officially pressed yet, but I think it's still under investigation. The league can still act on that regardless if the law enforcement comes with charges or not. So Josh Jacobs' status is definitely up in the air to an extent. He may be suspended for 2 games. It might be 4 games. Who knows? It might be maybe longer than that. I do know that he was arrested. This happened just a few months ago. They're super thin at running back behind him, and I am personally not a believer in Matthew Golden. Most guys who have terrible rookie years and just can't earn targets don't really turn into much. He was terrible in college up until his final season as well. I'm not a Matthew Golden guy. I think Jaden Reed is super underrated, honestly. Yes, I'm a Spartan. So I'm biased there. But it all comes down to
Tucker Craft is awesome.
Tucker Kraft's coming off a torn ACL. He's a total stud. If he's healthy, that's again a really, really tough matchup there. But I agree, JD. The O line doesn't necessarily impress me very much, and the defense without Micah, they're not that strong either. They're not able to invest and get other talent. They have terrible corners. The secondary, I know McKinney's a good safety back there, but Green Bay, I think it's a similar thing. I'm right with you in the 8 to 9 win range, where LaFleur and Jordan Love are going to get them to be respectable. They're not going to totally bottom out, but I see them right in the middle of the pack there, and it's just a lot of it determines. And we play them. What is that, week 7? We're on the schedule.
At home.
It's
home.
right off. It's right off of our bye. So
is Micah Parsons playing? Is Micah Parsons playing in that game? That's a huge question. He tore his ACL. That was December, right?
Yeah.
So
that would be. I bet he plays. The way these guys come back from ACLs now is like.
Right.
I bet he's playing. I bet he doesn't miss much time, honestly, like maybe a game or two, but I bet I'm going to say he's back in September.
Right. Okay. If I could get Tim's take in real quick, looking at these teams we've looked at so far, they don't look like they've gotten much better, right? They really hedge on their franchise quarterback, and some good position players, like performing to an expectation. And I'm looking at this Packers schedule. I don't think it's as hard as the Bears, but who play 4 Super Bowl contenders, but it's hard, I mean, New England,
go to the Rams. Go to the Rams, play the
Rams and New England and Buffalo. I mean, I will say, looking at the end of their schedule, those are going to be cold January games for CJ Stroud and Jared Goff. Hopefully, Jared Goff is not playing or doesn't have to play in that Week 18 flex game. That's, of course, would be great. But in the NFC North, it's going to be a battle, dude. Every game in the North is going to count. That's
they're well coached. They're well coached teams with above average talent, at the very least, average talent to above average talent, on the personnel front.
Right.
One name I did want to highlight is Christian Watson. If he stays healthy, he's a stud. I think Watson, he can't stay healthy, but on the terms of like a efficiency basis, the guy he gets in the end zone, he scores touchdowns.
He kills us,
plays.
like always kills us.
He's a so Watson, if he could have, I know I brought up Colson Loveland for the fantasy football players out there. I think I'm going to name, that's another second one I'll say is Christian Watson for Green Bay. I see him having a huge year. They've thinned it out. They got rid of Romeo Doubs. They got rid of Dontavian Wicks. They're gone. Those are some they are both now respectively in New England and Philadelphia. And it's a thinner wide receiver room. I mean, they are putting their eggs in the Matthew Golden basket, which again, like I said, I do not buy at all. I think he's pretty dust.
So what do we think, guys? Packers making the playoffs or no?
I'll go yes. I'm going to flip-flop with you. I'm going to say yes, that they go 9-8. So it's like a head-to-head versus Chicago. They win the important head-to-head, take the record, go 9-8. And they're in as the 7th seed for the second straight year.
Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I talk shit about the Packers because it's fun, but they're not to be reckoned with. I think I put them over the Bears. I think Ben Johnson's stock they're going to find out Ben Johnson is not a flawless God. And Bears take a step back, and Pack is a playoff team.
All right, I'm going to say no. No playoffs for the Cheeseheads. Sorry, Tim.
What's the record, Jay? Do they go 8-9?
I'm going to go – I think they have another tie this year. I'm going to go 8-1.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Because ties are funny.
It would be
funny.
I'd love it. Go Pack, go, baby.
Tim walking into class after the tie.
Yeah, don't. Scott, you nailed it. It is a total troll, but damn, is it fun. And I wear my Lions gear after a loss on Monday. Not fun.
No, but you got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to do it. All right, last.
It's that grit. It's that grit mentality.
Scotty, you know these are your people right here.
The purple people eater. The purple people eaters. Let's get into it, man. The amount of Vikings stuff. It's funny though. You know, the whole skull chant is like that's like very new. It's like since they moved into the new stadium, that was not a thing back in the heydays of Adrian Peterson. We can go even farther back to Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss. They weren't doing skull. That was not a thing until they brought in. This is, you know, it's the recency. It's the, you know, the new age media. Yeah, it's an ode to Norway, which we love. I'm 50% Norwegian. Man, Adam, is that an Adam? That's an Adam Thielen. That's an Adam Thielen uni. He was my favorite. He's the man. I'll kick off with the Vikings because that's a team that has been near and dear to my heart in past years in a different life in childhood. But I follow this team pretty closely. I always have. There were points in my childhood, as I mentioned, that I was a bigger Vikings fan than a Lions fan. So this is still a team that I root for when they're not playing the Lions. My dad is a massive Vikings fan. Who is that guy?
Vikings cheerleader?
Oh, it's the male cheerleader. Oh yeah, he gets a certain sect of people really upset. But the Vikings, again, we're going to go back to the coach. I'll start there with Kevin O'Connell. Look at their record last year. They went, I think, 9-8.
Yeah,
and that was with possibly the league worst quarterback play. JJ McCarthy is hot ass doo-doo, as Timmy eloquently put earlier in this episode, the ass doo-doo descriptor. JJ McCarthy is terrible, and they still churned out a 9-8 record. That just goes to show you, I'm pretty terrified of if they can get competent quarterback play out of Kyler Murray, which...
You mean Max Brosmer?
Brosmer, I saw there was a headline on Twitter saying Vikings are optimistic about Max Brosmer's development or something like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. They're probably setting him up to be the number 2 because they want to figure out how to cut JJ McCarthy or trade him or something. So, but no, I think Kyler's for sure the week 1 starter. Like, there's no chance. JJ, just the tape that he put out last year was just terrible. Like, he was awful. I can't believe he still came into Ford Field and beat us. But the scary thing with the Vikings is they have weapons. They've got, in my opinion, a top 2 receiver. It's him and Jamar Chase. It's Jefferson and Jamar Chase in their own tier. And Addison's a great compliment to him. TJ Hawkinson, our former boy, it's a competent tight end there. They have a solid O-line, but it was a quiet offseason for them other than
Hawks kind of washed, dude.
Yeah, it was what? Was it Kirby taking out the knee on the dirty play, even though it's like, okay, you can't hit him high, so what are you supposed to do? Like, I don't know, whatever. That bothers me. Vikings fans to this day still complain about that hit. And it's like, it's a penalty to go high and hit him in the head. What was he supposed to do?
Dude, they've got just looking ahead a little bit, schedule. They've got back-to-back at New England and then home against the Lions in December. That's a big stretch. And then finish with the Bears. They got the Bills coming to Minnesota. You know, they're at Tampa. Schedule, you know, they're at San Fran. Schedule is not, you know, horribly challenging. That game at San Fran kind of sucks for them. That's like their 3rd place NFC West game. You know, they got to go out west to San Fran. But, you know, I could totally see, like, Scott, you're talking about Kyler figuring it out with KOC. I could totally see the Vikings doing like what they did in 2024 and they rip off 14 wins. Like, I'm not going to predict that they're going to be a 14-win team, but I would not be shocked I wouldn't be shocked if they won the division. I'm just going to say it. I would not be shocked if they won 12 games and we're like, whoa, the Vikings just won the division. Like, I think it's that close. I think all 4 teams are that close together in terms of just roster build and competitiveness, and we see how closely, these seasons can change, or how quickly seasons can change based on one or two games. And I think in terms of just pure like football acumen, football knowledge, football emotion, like I think O'Connell is probably the best coach in this division. Like overall, like everything. And I love Dan Campbell, and that it's so hard for me to say that, but like knowledge of the game, play calling, ability to connect with the quarterback, like emotional IQ, having other good coaches on staff. O'Connell he's really good. I'm really
O'Connell. KOC's the man. He's the absolute
really
man.
Good.
I don't know why he's texting Diana Rossini. That's a little sketchy. I don't know if you guys saw the clip.
Oh, is he on the list?
Oh yeah.
No, it's not a list, but
I just started a conspiracy, the Rossini list.
She, for the viewers and listeners that don't know, she got like pulled over, and then they just released the body cam. She
oh my god, this video. Tim,
it's so cringe.
Can you look this up? And we might need to run this like at the end of the episode. This video is unbelievable.
She gets pulled over. So she went on air like that week and was like, "Hey guys, I got pulled over, but I got out of it by like FaceTiming an NFL head coach," which then the body cam footage comes out a few months later, just recently. And she did not FaceTime an NFL head coach. She just figured out the cop was a Vikings fan, was like, "Oh, look at this." Like, she shows like her text to him. She's like, "I'm texting KOC." And then it's funny. She goes, "You guys have a quarterback problem. He's terrible." Like she rips on. She gives JJ
JJ sucks.
She's like, he's just sucked. Yeah, she's just a tough stray for JJ McCarthy. But the offseason for them, again, it wasn't super noteworthy other than getting Kyler. They kind of reshaped their defensive line. They traded Jonathan Grenard to Philly. Of course, Howie Roseman's got to make the sharp trade. There was a draft night trade for a draft pick. I think it was a third round, maybe a fourth round pick, if I'm not mistaken. But he was a good edge rusher for them. They also released Jonathan Allen. They moved on from Javon Hargrave, and they drafted 2 defensive linemen in the first and second round. One of them being Caleb Banks from Florida, and then one of my favorite players coming out of this draft class was Dominique Orange. Dominique, the big citrus orange. The big citrus. That's just an all-time nickname. So,
that's awesome.
They've reshaped their defensive line, and then one familiar face. I just want to make note of this, and we can move on to predictions. But Harrison Smith, longtime safety, he retired.
Dude, we didn't even talk about Brian Flores. Like,
right?
He's awesome, and I gained so much respect for him this season, what he did to the Lions post Frank Ragnow, put in just our offense and fits. So you got to account for that too. He's a great defensive mind. I would love it if he was the Lions defensive coordinator. He's a stud. So you got 2 really good play callers on staff. You have arguably the best wide receiver, and I've been talking about every team's O-line. I like this O-line a lot. I think the Vikings O-line is very solid. Darrisaw's coming back. They've got some nice young pieces. I just think, dude, they're good. Like, I think we're take the Lions out. I'm Vikings, Bears, Packers. Like,
okay. You're most bullish on the Vikes, it sounds like.
I'm bullish on the Vikings, dude. Like, them and the Giants. I might hammer both those overs. Hopefully not at the expense of the Lions, but it's crazy to think that, you can point to a lot of different things about the Lions season last year, which we have on other episodes, but man, those 2 Vikings games, just so brutal, hindsight 2020, losing at home to JJ, and then losing on Christmas Day to Max Brosmer, like, so horrible, so freaking brutal. One of those go your way in the season, we have a completely different conversation about the season. We're maybe sneaking in to that wild card spot, playing the Bears. Like, a lot of different things would have happened if we won one of those games, but we didn't. And
however, you mentioned the 2024 14-win season. Another team that they really haven't made a playoff run. like they've had a flashy good teams, but like
Yeah, it was like 9 years ago now when they went to. I was at the game. Was the NFC Championship in Philly, the Nick Foles year. They made it the Stephon Diggs, the Miracle in Minneapolis that play against the Saints. That was insane. And then I took my dad out to Philly for that game. They go down and score Kyle Rudolph 7-0 right away, and then it was 38 unanswered for Philadelphia to steamroll. So,
Tim, didn't you have a Dante Culpepper Vikings jersey?
I had a Dante Culpepper Vikings jersey and a Randy Moss. So confession too, I was a big Vikings fan as well.
Yeah, I remember that Culpepper jersey was sick.
Yeah, so I got a amazing Christmas. I got a Culpepper jersey and Madden 2002, I think it was.
With Dante on it?
With Dante on the cover. So
Man, that'd be a great Lions jersey.
Oh, a Dante Culpepper Lions? Yeah. Or a Jeff Garcia.
I forgot we had Culpepper. Was he on the team? Was he Kitna's backup and then Kitna? Like, were they on the same team?
I think so.
Since we're speaking, I don't want to. Have you guys ever tried looking for a Dan Campbell Lions jersey?
No.
They're
like out there, but so rare. But imagine
like a true, like one from that era, like not one now. I've seen
not like a remade one.
Yeah, girls are wearing like the ones, and not just girls. I guess guys. But I've seen. I swear. The bar when I lived in New York City, the bar I would go to in my neighborhood that was a Lions bar.
Yeah,
it was the same girl was there. Well, I should say woman. She's probably in her 30s, but she would wear a Dan Campbell jersey, like a remade, like a. From the last era of jerseys, just like 3-4 years ago. She would wear that like every single Sunday. She was always in it. So I don't know why. I guess I just associate it with a woman wearing it. But
I have a confession too, guys. I purchased a Randy Moss jersey in college, and it was so sick. And I'm trying to find a photo.
Dude, I want to make the argument that Randy's the GOAT over Jerry Rice. You can't. But you're like, I want.
What about that season with Brady, man? Dude, he totally is one. I think
he's number 2.
When there's a player that you grow up watching as a kid that is just so amazing, awe-inspiring, I think you get a pass, right? Like not to. I think like watching Randy Moss and Chris Carter and Dante Culpepper, it was amazing. Like it was just flash and dash. Like
that was a fun squad.
Yeah, so I think I'm totally okay with the.
You should watch
Vikings jersey.
The young ones out there, and I mean I wasn't old enough to watch. I mean I was old enough, but I was like 4 years old. Randy Moss's rookie year, Thanksgiving Day against the Cowboys. 3 catches, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns. You should watch the clips of those touchdowns. There's one, he's running down the sideline. A safety has like a very clear angle on him, and then like the angle disappears. Randy's just gone. Like it's an incredible clip. Those three catches for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns as a rookie. Randy's the man. I mean, the Vikings have had, just similar to the Lions, they've had 2 of the all-time greats at those positions. You know, Adrian Peterson and Randy Moss, just like we've had with Barry and Calvin.
Yeah,
so,
right.
One last note before
Randall Cunningham.
And Randall Cunningham. And before we move on the Vikes, I think one note too that we totally missed, and I think it needs to be said, is they fired their GM in January, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. And
he took too much time off for having a kid.
Yeah,
is that what it was?
He spent time with his family. Yeah, he had like a newborn.
Tim Waltz would like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. But
so they fired him, and then they hired a scout from a longtime scout from the Seattle Seahawks, Nolan Teasley. That's just like a name, Nolan Teasley. I just like can't take seriously.
Tim, pull up Nolan Teasley.
Yeah, let's see what this Nolan Teasley guy looks like. But he's the new GM of the Minnesota Vikings. Dude, they actually went, funny enough, they went 4 months. They did that draft without a GM. They hired him in May.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, but
Isn't that weird?
I like the Caleb Banks pick.
I think you guys are going to eat your words on saying Nolan Teasley's a shrimp.
I didn't say it. Scott.
I wouldn't screw with it. I would not screw with this dude.
Oh fuck! Look at that jawline.
I would not screw.
He looks a little intense.
He looks like Elon.
Yeah, he does. Oh my god.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's Elon. Oh my god.
Oh god.
It kind of looks like a psycho.
Yeah, he looks like a complete psycho. He probably has like an AI football player he's designing to. Yeah.
In a lab. He's designing the perfect football player.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust this guy.
I don't like the looks. I don't like the looks of this guy.
Yeah, Total creep bag.
This is not going to work out.
Nolan Teasley is a creep
maybe
bag.
I'm not as bullish.
No offense. No offense. I'm just joking.
So final talk on the Vikes. We'll say. I mean, JD, you seem bullish. What's the record prediction? Where do they fall in the division? You said you're not shocked if they win it. So are you going to call it and say they're going to win it?
Well, if we go through, because we're going to win it. So, and I already have the Bears in the playoffs. So am I really going to have 3? Yeah, I think NFC North is the best division. So I'm going to say Vikings win 10 games. Nice. So I got Packers 8-1, Bears 9-8, Vikings 10-7. And we'll have to go back to the schedule preview, but I think I had Lions winning like 14.
Yeah, they had a lot of W's on that episode that we put together.
Yeah, and I stand by that.
Stand by it. We're on the record.
I'm going to walk back something I said a few minutes ago. Kevin O'Connell's not the best coach in this division. Dan Campbell is.
We're gonna have to either erase some of this episode, or we might be coming in with some clips that say to the contrary. Jay, I'm right in lockstep. I think I'm going to say 10 wins. I'm skeptical on Kyler. I think if anyone's going to make him work, it's going to be KOC. He's basically made every quarterback outside of JJ McCarthy work. So, but Kyler is just such a flawed player. I've never been a huge Kyler guy. I think he's just
he's got to stay off the Xbox Live.
Can't see over the line, dude. The fact that the Arizona Cardinals tried to implement a legitimate clause in his contract that said, like, you need to watch film and we're going to track your iPad to make sure that you're watching film. Like, that's such an indictment. So I think Kyler, I don't take him seriously, but at the same time, he was the number 1 overall pick. He's talented. Like, and I think maybe he's grown up a bit. He's older. He's like, oh shit. Like, the team that drafted me moved on from me. My career is like kind of.
Do you think this is popping in my head? But O'Connell gets a ton of credit for the Darnold thing, but like, are we giving him too much credit after what Darnold just did somewhere else?
I think that's the whole point, though. He got Darnold to like see the light, basically, to stop seeing ghosts. That's a good reference from Sam Darnold's earlier in his career.
But then he left and did better somewhere else.
He won 14 games, man. He did pretty damn good with Minnesota.
So maybe Sam Darnold's just really good, and maybe he's just like the Jets just screwed him. I don't know.
I agree with that. No, I completely agree with that. Sam Darnold's good. Sam Darnold has been good. I think there's other, like, you can bring up guys. Obviously, Kirk Cousins he had for a long time, but then who was the backup that would come in and play?
Josh Dobbs.
That's another one, but that's not even the one I'm thinking of. It was the one that came back in. I have to look this up. This was like 3 years ago.
Davis Mills?
No, Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins had some decent games. He put up a decent fight against us when they were wearing those like all white uniforms the day we clinched the division for the first time in our lifetimes.
That's right.
Nick Mullins put together a decent performance there. So
no, I'm just like O'Connell's really.
I get what you're saying. It would be more of an. I see what you're saying. It would be more of like a, hey, credit to O'Connell if then Darnold goes and falls on his face in Seattle. But I still think that like O'Connell
you couldn't figure out JJ.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone can figure out JJ. You just got to let him hand the ball off 50 times a game and don't let him throw the ball in the air. The forward pass is the challenge when he's your quarterback.
Like you said, Kyler he's the number one pick, but he's flawed. I guess we'll see.
We'll see. I'm curious to see what he cooks up with Kyler. It's a totally different style of quarterback than he's had, right? So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. I think it'll be.
What's your prediction, Scotty?
I'll say 10 wins. I know we're probably agreeing a little bit too much. I know we flip-flopped to Green Bay and Chicago, but I'm going to say 10 wins right there with you. They'll be like the 5 or the 6 seed and be in the playoffs representing the.
So NFC North is maybe this past season's NFC West.
For sure. I mean, the NFC is loaded. It's stacked. There's a lot of good teams.
Tim, what's your Viking prediction?
Yeah, they might win a bunch of games and get bounced in the playoffs. I'm sorry. I don't believe in them. And I just don't. And this is based on my conversations that I have with Vikings fans. Like, they don't believe that the ownership is invested in the team. Like, it's like when you get to hear another fan base talk about their team, I just don't. Their quarterback room, yeah, they're betting on Kyler. It's still a mess. It's not that serious. And Brian Flores, great defensive coordinator, he hasn't figured out the Lions completely. You know, I think we could still stomp all over them. I just don't. I'm more scared of the Bears and Packers as teams than I am the Vikings. However, they've got the talent to win a lot of games. There's no doubt. We haven't figured out Brian Flores. Ben Johnson had figured out Brian Flores. True. All right, maybe I'm going back to 2024 where I watched some really competitive, great games.
Well, Goff is part of that too, Scott. So, like, I think it was a Goff, Ben Johnson combo, and Frank Ragnow. So, that's another. Hey, we'll see.
There's gonna be some good. There are gonna be some fun matchups this year. I think.
Patsing, Cade Mays, Goff. Let's go.
I think the overarching high level with all 4 of these teams is, damn, this division is loaded, and there's gonna be a ton of really fun, good matchups that are gonna come down to the wire, and these games matter so much.
There's gonna be a good. There's gonna be a good team. There's gonna be a good team that maybe 2 good teams that don't make the playoffs.
That's, guys. I want to just bring this back to last year when the schedule came out, where we were at Lambeau week 1 and then Chicago week 2, and Campbell does the thing where he doesn't play any of the starters in the preseason, and I was very upset and kind of like banging the drum that, like, no, when you're opening up in these division games that matter so much more than the other parts of the schedule, you should get some live reps for your starters in the preseason so then they don't come in with the rust. And look what happened in that week 1 game. They came in rusty as hell. I think John Morton, that was
terrible.
Yeah, but just a point that
I think Dan has said that they're going to look at that differently.
They're reevaluating it. Yep.
Which is good, you know.
All Shall we rip a few mailbags, boys?
Yeah, we got a couple good ones, I think. And then we'll be done, and then we'll send Scotty off to his wedding.
Absolutely, I did. You asked for my prediction. Here's my true prediction: the black and blue is back. We are a freaking awesome football division. And all I know is everybody, we'll do this thing. We're going to watch some good football this year. But we're still the motherfucking Detroit Lions.
Yes.
And don't forget it. If you hear a little more umph in my voice today, it's because a lot of these NFC North fans talk shit.
Prove it. Prove it, Jordan Love.
Yeah, this is a direct call out to Jordan Love.
Producer Tim. I was playing cornhole with Garrett Moscow in South Dakota a few years back, and we got mercied by these Packers fans. And like they made up a mercy rule. They're like, we're up
21 zip.
No, it was like 10-2, and they go, that's mercy around here. And they just like made up a rule. And Garrett goes up to this dude and goes, Oh yeah, Jordan Love, more like Jordan Hate, and walked away. That was like his. Then walked away, and he was
That's funny.
It was awesome. So
That's a good disc, Garrett.
great disc, Garrett. And so let's start with a mailbag from Garrett. He wants to know who is the most underrated and overrated player in the division. Thank you, Gary.
That's a good question. The entire division. Man. Gonna have to come up with something here.
Underrated. I'll start. I already said Jaden Reed, and I think also I could stand by that. Funny enough, the runner-up to that answer for me, I think, would be his teammate in same position group as Christian Watson. I think they're both really good, and I think they're both underrated. I think they both don't get talked about that much when it comes to. I'm not saying they're top receivers in the league or by any means, but they're really solid. Like they're both like they complement each other really well. I think Jaden Reed's a good like after the catch guy, can do kind of the short area stuff, and then Christian Watson's like your big chunk play down the field guy. So I'll just say Jaden Reed is my firm answer for underrated.
I like that. I'm gonna go Jordan Love overrated. It's just the Jordan Love hate episode. Jordan Love most overrated. I'm with Tim. I'm not bought in to him. You know, I think he's good, but he gets a lot of buzz for not really. I just don't think he's there.
I'll say. Do you have your under? Go ahead.
No, you go.
I'll say overrated. I'm tempted to say Caleb Williams, but I also think those words could really come back to bite me. So because I know the talent is within him, but he's still got he still has a lot of development to do. He's got to clean up his game. I'm going to say Montez Sweat. I think he's overpaid. I don't think he's really that good off the edge. I think in terms of what they paid to go get him in draft capital and what they pay him in terms of salary, I don't think Montez Sweat is as big of an impact of a player as the Bears fans would like him to be.
That's a good one. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to the Vikings for underrated. Dude, I think Van Ginkel is like really legit.
Oh yeah, that dude's dangerous.
I think he's awesome. Yeah, he just is seemingly one of those guys that is just everywhere all the time, making plays, punching the ball out, intercepting the ball.
It's the interception. It's the interceptions, man. You throw a screen to his side. It's like his play.
He's got the lettuce. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Hey, Van Ginkel is from the region where my family's from. He's from Rock Valley, Iowa, Sioux County. So just a hop. So he's a known name around there. We ran into some Van Ginkel fans. So I like that shout.
Yeah,
shout out.
I think Max Brosmer's underrated, man.
I have fully crashed out during Lions Vikings games, and for whatever reason, they kept doing it. It was during Ben Johnson's time too. They would throw screens, and Van Ginkel. I remember the Week 18 game, guys. He dropped one. It would have flipped the entire game. He would have taken it for 6. He dropped one, and I remember screaming at the TV. I was like, "Stop throwing it to his side short, like don't do that." He's like, he did it in Miami, he does it in Minnesota currently. Like he's mastered that play of reading the screen and just jumping.
Yeah,
it's very impressive. He's a stud. He's a total stud.
He's good. He's just like a guy you'd love to have on your team.
I just realized after the fact, both of my answers. People forget Montez Sweat started his career at Michigan State. When we were there, I think junior.
I tutored Montez Sweat.
You did
at the scandal. I swear to God, I
remember.
Yeah.
Paul Mary was always talking about him because he's like deep in the weeds with Michigan State football. Shout out Steve. We're planning on having a big night on the dance floor.
Wedding.
Yeah, big expectations for you on the dance floor this Saturday, but. He would always talk about. He's like, this freshman Montez Sweat. You've got to he needs to get on the field. And then he transferred to Mississippi State and obviously became a top draft pick. So
I'll give you the skinny on Montez Sweat. I tutored him in algebra, and his hands were about 3 times the size of mine. And he was a monster of a dude. And he'd always come in with a big bag of Sour Patch watermelon or some sort of candy. And close your ears, Chicago Bears fans. He would just chill and eat his candy while I did his homework. And I don't mean that we didn't, yeah.
No dogging on Montez.
But Montez was not a locker room guy either. Montez was about Montez. And that is some inside scoop Motor City only going to hear here.
Yeah, that's why he's overrated.
Yes, sir.
But Montez, we had some laughs. We did. I hope you're doing well, man.
Did he share some Sour Patch with you, Tim? Were you able to get a couple bites?
No, I wasn't gonna take shit from that guy. He could kill me.
His hands will just
yeah.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Yeah, he could yeah.
Squash your head like a watermelon.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, what's
next? That's next. Thank you, Gary, for the question.
Yeah, thanks, Garrett.
We're gonna go to welcome to Detroit and bon voyage to Italy, our fellow Motor City podcaster, Jasper Apollonia. How you doing, Jasper? He wants to know, which positional units for the Lions do you feel are the best in the NFC North? Which stack up the worst?
This kind of goes into our other mailbag, so maybe we can just kind of lump them together.
They're very.
And Weiss wanted to know what's the best position group, but let's swash them together.
Shout out Weiss, because I'm gonna go.
Shout out Weiss.
Shout out Weiss.
He just golfed in the group behind Aiden Hutchinson today. I don't know if you guys were aware of that.
My boy Cam Costas. So, I think that the best position group in the NFC North is the Lions receiver room. I think St. Brown and JMO carry that, obviously, and I am expecting a big year 2 jump for Tesla, but I think St. Brown is a top 5 receiver in my book, and I think JMO is in that like top 15, top 20, and I just don't. I can't think off the top of my head any other positional groups in the NFC North that might have 2 guys in those ranges. And that's contingent on Tesla taking a jump. So I'm going to say that's my answer. Best position unit in the NFC North, and then for the Lions, obviously is the receiver room.
It's a great answer. I tend to agree. I really hope that my answer come December is offensive line, and we return to that, from 2, because you answered that question, let's say in 2024, that's our answer, right? 2 years ago, that's the answer. And I really hope that evolves to be the answer, because I think that's the key ingredient to how we find that identity. I wish I could say safety. If just the injury bug there, we can't really say that. I'm gonna say running back. I think we have far and away the best running back in the division. I think Josh Jacobs is another year older, has some legal issues as we aforementioned. The Vikings running back room doesn't really impress me much. Aaron Jones is on the wrong side of 30. A great career for Aaron Jones, by the way. NFC North, longtime NFC North guy with Green Bay as well.
Yeah,
and
Jordan's a legend.
Jordan Mason as a backup is solid, but nothing. And I do love the 1-2 punch that Chicago has with Swift and Monungai. But in just terms of sheer individual talent, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is just so good. He's a top 5 player in the league.
I was gonna ask, is he the second best player in the division behind Justin Jefferson?
I mean, he might put him above Jay.
Is he better? I was gonna ask.
I'm curious to see because the NFL, they're doing the release of they do it increments of 10 of like that's where Jack Campbell somehow came below Bobby Wagner, which is hilarious. But the corpse of Bobby Wagner was rated above Jack Campbell. But yeah, I'm curious where Gibbs ends up. He'll probably be in like the 15 to 20 range, which is too low in my opinion. But yeah, he's right there with him and Bijan are in their own tier in terms of like just pure skill and effectiveness as a runner. I think why you could make the argument for receiver is that just the depth, like now that we don't have Demo, I think the answer would be like clearly running back if we still had Demo. Pacheco, he's coming off a multitude of injuries. One thing that just to bring up the running back room, and we can maybe talk about this more like in the episode if we're talking training camp later on in August once I'm back from my honeymoon, but I'm curious to see what we do with Arizona's. We have the Drew Petzing connection. They re-signed James Conner. They signed Tyler Algier. They have Trey Benson, and then they drafted Jeremiah Love, top 5. I think one of those guys, obviously not Love, and probably not Algier because they gave him money. James Conner or Trey Benson are going to get released. You wonder what happens at the end of camp when you're looking for running back depth. I think James Conner may end up, or Trey Benson, mark my words, end up as a Detroit Lion.
Wow.
I like that. Camp. I think that's a tinfoil hat theory that I don't think the room is done. It's not just Pacheco and Sione Vaki, which that's what it is right now. So, but my answer is running back, but it's receivers right there and quarterback. I think we have the best quarterback in the division.
So then, which positional units stack up the worst in the NFC North for the Lions?
Defensive line would be my answer. Outside of Hutch, and it's just if Aleem comes back and makes the type of impact that he did 3 years ago, then I probably rescind the answer and move to corner. But right now, it's still yet to be seen that Aleem can get back to that level of play, and you're relying you're putting all your eggs in that Hutch basket, and there's just a lot of mid. Other than there,
it's a lot of question marks with Aleem coming off an injury, Levi coming off an injury, Tyleek. Does he take a jump? Wanham.
They don't invest much into it. They just
could Wanham blossom next to Hutch, opposite Hutch? Do you get anything year one from more? Does Hassan do anything? I think
Peyton Turner a reclamation project that actually works out. Yeah,
that's probably a good answer. I'd say for me, Scott, you're not gonna like this. Well, are we accounting for injuries?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I would. If Branch and Kirby were healthy, I'd probably answer safety
as the best.
Yeah, is the best. Sorry, yes.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna say safeties currently stacks up the worst just because we don't have those two guys and they're so good, and I think we don't know. We don't know who the stars is. Is it Chuck Clark? Is it going to be Christian Izien? Is it going to be Thomas Harper? Is it going to be Avonte Maddox? It's just a lot of questions. There's definitely guys that can slot in, but a lot of questions. And then one thing I just want to hit on this because we didn't really hit on it in the previous episode where we talked about Terrion Arnold. But Scott, I think you and I actually feel decently all right about the cornerback room. Even without Terrion, Terrion, I was optimistic about, this year for him staying healthy and continuing to improve, but the numbers are the numbers. He wasn't great, as a player here. And, you have DJ Reed who you're paying as a number one. You have Ennis Rakestraw, his former second-round pick, that needs to step up. You have Rock Yassin, who they really like a lot. He filled in nicely last year. And then you invested draft capital in Keith Abney, who is a consensus top 100 prospect. And then you're kind of rolling the dice on a former first-round pick, Roger McCreary. So I think I just wanted to note that because we didn't really talk about it. in the last episode. We talked heavy Terrion.
Yeah,
but
that's funny, Jay. We didn't even share notes ahead of this. I had the same thought from last episode that I was like, wait a second, we just had like a whole episode devoted to Terrion, and I didn't even really like get to give off my take about like the actual effectiveness as a player. Like, it's not if he doesn't like develop into a much better player, like it's not a huge loss. He was a penalty merchant. He got burned. Terrion, like if he stays in that current form of the player he was, this is not like a massive loss in terms of like football. It sucks to burn a first round draft pick and first round draft capital. That's what really stings. But Terrion, the player, it remained to be seen whether he was going to take that developmental leap, which a lot of corners do. Corner can be a very, just like offensive line can be like a multi-year developmental type of thing. So, but up to this point, Terrion was not. Yeah, not quite cutting it as a first round.
There's actually like there's less question marks at corner right now, in my opinion, than safety. Like, I think it's pretty clear if there was a game tomorrow.
That's fair.
Your starters are DJ Reed and Rock, and then either McCreary or Abney in the slot, and then Ennis as your other guy on the outside.
I'm super excited to see camp reports start. I mean, I'm going to be pretty much off the grid when I go. I'm leaving a week from today for Hawaii. I'm going to have my phone on like airplane mode the whole time. But maybe I'll pop in and check Twitter like on my computer like every other day and just see what's going on.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see camp reports. And I think Ennis Rakestraw is like one of the top 2 or 3 names that I'm going to be like glued in on and seeing how. What's being said about him and his performance in camp.
That's a good tease into the next episode, which will be a little bit down the line here with Scotty going offline for a bit.
We missed part 2. We missed Weiss's part 2 of the question. If we want to quickly cover that.
What? We'll get you next time, Weiss.
Cities, what's the best position group in the NFC North?
I said the Lions receivers.
I thought that was which positional units for the Lions do you feel are best in the NFC North? I think Weiss was saying collectively as a division, right?
Well, Jasper's question was phrased, which positional units for the Lions do you feel are the best in the NFC North?
Which is what we answered. But then Weiss is saying, what's the best position group in the NFC North? I think he's saying collectively, like from all 4 teams, what position group is the best?
Lions receivers is my answer.
Okay, I think maybe we're
like collectively.
Like, collectively, like
I got it. Like receivers or okay. Like of all 4 teams combined.
Yes, sorry. I think that's what Weiss was asking. I could be wrong.
That's kind of a weird question though. Like
it is kind of a weird question. I think top to bottom, I think we have 3 very, very good tight ends, 2 elite tight ends, and then whatever you want to call Hawk. He's decent. But I think tight end could be the answer there.
No way, dude. It's receiver. You have 2 top 5 receivers.
Yeah, it's receiver. And I like the Green Bay. Yeah, I'll go with receiver.
Okay, what would your answer be though if you're thinking like me, like
sorry.
I said Lions
yes.
What would your answer be?
Now I see what. I wonder what we'll have to clarify with Weiss after this.
Weiss, come on, man. We need a little more clear questioning next time, please. But I might go Vikings receivers. I like the Juwan Jennings signing. Yeah,
they lost Jalen Naylor to Vegas. He got paid. Shout out Michigan State again.
He did.
So Jalen Naylor is out in Vegas now, but they replaced him with Juwan Jennings, who.
Yeah, that's a good answer. As long as Addison stops getting DUIs.
Stop speed. He's going like 140 miles an hour. He's gonna kill someone like Ruggs. Yeah. But so yeah, if Addison stays out of trouble and I think it's the Vikings receivers by a razor thin margin. So my bad if I misinterpreted the question, but I think the way that you answered it is better. So my bad.
Well, if anyone is still listening an hour and 24 minutes in, we apologize for the
to the episode that we specifically said we're going to try to keep trimmed, but whatever.
It was good. It was a good episode.
It was fun. Just love talking shop and just letting it rip.
So we'll be off for a little bit, and then when Scotty gets back from Hawaii, we'll be deep into training camp. We'll probably be close to a preseason game at that point that we can preview, which will be silly to do, but we'll do it, and we'll have a lot of we'll have football to talk about, like football. Like Scott, when you get back from Hawaii, the football will be happening.
Checking the calendar. Yeah, well, I return on like the 9th, August 9th, and the Lions play Thursday, August 13th against the Bengals back in Cincy. The return to Cincy.
Should we go?
Where my bachelor party was last year.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll have a preseason game. We'll have training camp developments to talk about. Hopefully, no injuries. Hopefully, no injuries to discuss. Yeah, like I said, I think that'll be a fun episode because there's going to be a lot more for us to chew on than we've had in the last like 2 months. It's June and July. June and July is tough for NFL. That's like their one point of the year where they really don't have like a total grasp of the calendar.
Yeah, we're going to be ramping up here shortly, which is exciting. So a lot of fun things to look forward to, boys
and girls.
And girls. I was talking to you guys, but yeah.
Oh.
Girls too. And Tim's got a birthday coming up too.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yep. Hold on. Let me see. Greatest. Hold on. This is good. Oh, guys, I saw there was some breaking news. Sam Laporta cleared for training camp.
Wow.
I did see that. Yeah. That's big.
Yeah. Hold on.
I had an inside source tell me, who has an inside source that's close with the team, that Laporta maybe wasn't quite on track. So that's really good news.
So you mentioned my birthday. Thank you, JD. And I'm going to call it my Dre Bly year, number 32.
Yeah.
So.
Dre Bly, dude. I had a Dre Bly jersey.
Same.
Yes, sir.
I had
Same.
a black
So,
Dre Bly.
We all had Dre Bly.
Dude.
He was the only thing going at the time.
He
You
was.
had to,
So
yeah.
It was him and Sean Rogers were the only fun guys on our defense.
Yeah.
Big Sean Rogers.
Big boy.
Yeah.
He was a monster.
Dude.
All right. Cool.
All right, boys. Good
That
stuff.
was great. I got to go sleep. Hey, thanks, MCBK family. And Scotty, congrats. Have a blast, dude.
Much appreciated, guys. Thanks.
Yep. We'll
Go
miss
Lions.
you. Have fun. Yep. See ya.
Later.